Hello everyone, Happy New Year 2025. So these are going to be the readings for January by sun sign for 2025. As always, if you want to find out how to get a personal reading, you can do that on my website, and the link to that is in the description box below. Hope you have a lovely month and a great 2025. Lots of love. See you in the readings. Happy New Year. So this is your reading for January 2025. Let's see what they've got for Gemini. What have we got for Gemini? Okay, so they're showing me a cloaked figure. All I can see is the cloak. The face part is completely black. It's like those whodunit pictures. You know, there's that game you can get. I think it's whodunit. And there's little pop-up figures, but they've got black faces so that you can't, like their faces in shadow, so you can't see who they are. So it's that kind of a face. It's just a shadow inside a cloak. And they're standing, they're getting closer and closer and closer. I mean, I could say that I might think that this is the Virgin Mary, because certainly the cloak, but then it could also be the Grim Reaper, because we can't see what the face is like. Let's have a look. Tug of war. Oh, they're showing me a tug of war going on. So yeah, it's the dark or the light. A tug of war between the dark or the light going on. Let's have a look. What else do we need to know? Oh, but it's not real, they're saying. So the figure just got up and like darted off, flew off actually. A bit like a Dementor. So it's appeared to be a tug of war between the dark and the light. Something that's over, that feels like it was something very real going on, like a tug of war between dark and light, negative and positive. Feels like it was really real whilst it was going on, but then as soon as it's over, it's like nothing went on at all, is what they're saying. It's going to appear like you just, you don't even remember it going on. You can't feel it like it was going on. Change of mood, basically. Seven of Wands, resistance. Eight of Swords, the chain in the head, like chain to your worries, chain to your fears, but also shared between twins. So through the energetic connection comes the mental connection. So one person's worries are another person's fears. So the feminine's worries are the masculine's fears, and vice versa. And it goes on and on and on. It's infinite connection. And it's a tug of war, right? Because if one person's feeling all right and not worrying, if the other person's not feeling all right and worrying, then you get pulled back into it, whether you like it or not. And that's the resistance. It means during process, twin flame process, the feminine at points can't feel all right because the masculine doesn't feel all right, and the masculine can't feel all right because the feminine doesn't feel all right. Is it just the masculine, because the masculine is the dark and the negative, and the feminine is the light, the polarity, that the masculine's always in fear, so the feminine's worries are always due to the masculine's fears? Yeah. Basically, yes, because if it wasn't for that, the feminine would just sail through life, not getting sucked into being worried about things that are fearful. It's only because of the twin flame connection, because you're clearing the fear, that you get sucked into worrying about things that are fearful. It's a little bit like a big sister, younger brother, twin flames. How it is, the feminine leading the masculine through. Anyway, let's have a look here. The Chariot, masculine and feminine, hand in hand, moving together. So pulled out of fear. The feminine pulling the masculine out of fear, in this case. Out of the resistance that we got there. Fear is always a resistance. King of Wands was the masculine. They just said the masculine showing up. This is healthy energy body. So this is feeling all right, strong, feeling confident, feeling capable, feeling brave, feeling powerful, feeling assertive. So this is how the masculine's coming along, right? So it's like I just said, bringing up baby, like the feminine bringing up the masculine, so they feel like this, buoyant in themselves. So that's the tug of war, right? Feminine pulling the masculine into the light. So this is this month, right? Let's have a look. Hierophant, highly ordained relationship, but not a safety relationship, they just said. So it's quite a difficult relationship. Now, they're talking here about energetics, about it being the resistance and the vibration. So is it a difficult relationship in the physical? It feels like there's been something here for the feminine that feels like it's been harmful to the feminine. So the feminine has felt something that's hurt, been painful, been difficult, been challenging in terms of relationship with the person that they're just saying drawn to, the person that you're drawn to. So with your twin flame, it's not the one that looks good on paper. It's not the safety relationship, right? It's the one that you can't help being drawn to despite your more logical, practical ego saying, well, I really shouldn't go towards that because that's just going to be a load of trouble. You can't help yourself because the pull is so strong. Oh, the tug of war. So we've got, at the beginning of this reading, we've got this tug of war going on, but we've got the negativity leaving in the form of a Dementor that flies away, which means that the light wins, right? So it means that the feminine wins. So pulls the masculine, because it's energetic, partly the reading, pulls the vibration towards her. So pulls the vibration through. So it means pulls the masculine through. So it gives them the strength to pull through, because it's the same vibration shared by two people. It feels like here in the centre of the reading, where this is has been a difficult relationship. They just said, but worthwhile because of the way that it feels when you're with the person. So although you could have just you could have had somewhat of a relationship with a person where nearly everything to anybody else would look like it was wrong, but just one sensation that feels so good that other people can't even see, that makes it so worthwhile, even though everybody else in a chorus of, would say, what the hell are you doing that for? What do you see in them? Because you're not getting anything from it. You feel it, right? It's like a weight that brings you into a position of such an amount of feeling good that you cannot dispute its effect on you. It's the kind of connection where you're with the person where everything heals instantly. Like you could have, whatever it is you've got going on in your physical body, migraine, menopause, hot flashes, and they just go away because you're with that person. So it's got its benefit, although it's difficult. It's why you require it so much feminine. It's why you've pulled so hard in this tug of war to get through. It's turned into a tug of war for you, for your own well-being. It's still about this person, because there they are as energetically part of a relationship. Dark to light, a daily battle of dark to light in your own life about a multitude of little things. This is minor arcana. It's a multitude of little things of negativity that's come up in your own physical life. That's felt like walking uphill with a heavy weight on your back, which is the twin flame, because you're not doing it alone. You're doing it with someone else on your back that's sharing your vibration that you feel sometimes pulls you back into negativity, even though you're trying for the light. But here we've got the Chariot. We've got them coming together for the light, relationship, healing. So guided as well. The star is guided, right? Guided by the light in the star, like you are, like the three wise men. It's guided back together for healing, because that thing that's about it that feels so good, despite all the facts and figures that would say that it shouldn't be, or that you should put it aside in favour of something more practical and sensible. It's like everybody wants you to wear a flat pump, but you want the bright red Christian Louboutin because when you got it on, you never felt better, right? And so you're in the shop and you're pulling it because it feels so good, right? But that's for the same two people, that the pull to come together is so strong because it feels so good when they're together, despite all the reasons that could be why not. It could be anybody, family and friends. Those little devils on the shoulder. There's like, well, you don't want to do that for. Why don't you find someone else and settle down? Who is that? Who is that person you keep talking about? It's years ago. Forget about them. Go and marry so and so, the flat pump from down the road, because you'll have a nice, boring, long life, regretting every minute of it. Anyway, so love that can't be seen, that still exists. It just feels so good, right? And sometimes it feels so good it brings you to tears, even though you battle on trying to find the light. If you should ever slip back because you get pulled back into, even for a second, half a second, an image of that person in your head that you share this vibration with, the sound of their voice, the feeling of their skin, the smell of their breath, anything, right? You could cry so easily as it all just opens the floodgates of the truth of the emotion that lies underneath, that is hidden by the fact that they're not in your physical life. Oh, coming out of ending, Ten of Swords. So we've got an ending in the mind, an ending of the resistance in terms of this connection, the big one, right? The relationship, the big one. So open-ended, coming together because it feels so good. The masculine being in the right vibration, strong, pulling through into the light. Underneath, we've got a face-off going on underneath, so it's ego and higher self underneath this relationship. So it's the pull, right, of the dark of the light again. So it's the ego saying no and the higher self saying yes. Or if you like, the ego saying no, you can't go towards that because it doesn't make sense. It's been too long. They might be married, they might have a kid, you don't know where they are, what they're doing. It doesn't make sense to go towards it. Even they could be saying it didn't work out the first time. Everybody else says I shouldn't. It doesn't make sense, right? But then you've got the heart, which says yes. The heart just says yes. It doesn't say why, because it doesn't reason, because it's not the ego. The heart just says yes. It doesn't say anything else. The heart, the reason why the tears can come up when you peer below the surface of what the ego's hiding is because it's the truth comes from the heart. So it doesn't need any reason. So you could look at it from the ego and say, well, you're crying about something that happened 30 years ago. That's ridiculous. But of course the heart knows what the heart feels is right. So we've got the face-off between the heart and the mind. But here we've got a resistance in the vibration, which is ending in the mind. So that can only mean then, and we've got the pull through from the dark to the light of the masculine, that the ego is ending around the conundrum of how to move forward, moving forward together because it's healing. And it just feels like, as well, I've got to say, the longer it goes on, the more distressed, and the more in distress is the physical of the masculine. So the feminine pulling towards the light all the time. So it feels like the feminine's healing a little because they're striving for the light despite what's gone on between these two people. The feminine is still trying to like clamber towards the light and feel better, and therefore is showing some signs of recovery physically from whatever might be causing them any kind of physical distress, from the minorest things, rashes, things like that we're talking about. It doesn't have to be something big, just like could be just an itchy rash or whatever. But the masculine, because they're the ego, so they're the ones that pull back, until they let go and they move forward, they suffer physically more. So they're more in distress physically because they're not healing. So they have to come back for the healing. Otherwise their healing will not take place. So it's like a spring, It's that elastic band, basically, that the relationship, which is the heart of the matter here, is stronger in the Hierophant, which is major arcana, obviously, than the pull of the dark and the light, pull of the dark from the light in the minor arcana of the Two of Swords. So got no power really compared to that. So that's where we are. And that's that. And I'll leave you with that one. I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next one.